A railway worker from a peasant family, Han Dong-fan never planned to go to Tiananmen Square. Nor did he imagine his life would change forever.
I was on a bus passing by Tiananmen Square. I saw the people gathering in the middle of the square, and I decided to get out of the bus, take a look what's going on. I never thought I would become a dissident in the opposition. Someone told me the workers organized an organization in the corner of the square, and I thought, oh, that's where I supposed to be. So when I see the workers getting organized, I was very excited. When the workers stand up, it can be much more threatening to the government than anyone else. I gave a speech during the election of my organization that I'm ready to be the first one walking into prison. I dream that I can organize a union in my country completely based on the workers' control, not the boss control, not the employer's control, not the government control. We as workers in China, we have never had chance to have something to say about our working condition or salary or holidays, all these things.
To most workers, students were a breed apart, but railwayman Dong Fan found common cause and set up camp with them.
I dreamed, because I was young enough to believe in that, in my lifetime I would see a democratic China.
By mid-May, nearly 200,000 people were camped in the square. The party feared that if ordinary workers united with the intellectuals, it could no longer control the country. But the students denied they were planning a revolution. All they wanted was political dialogue.
We do not want to challenge with our government. We just want to ask our government to talk with the delegation of the students.
In this high drama, a new player appeared, a young history student and political activist. 20-year-old Wang Dan became a key voice among the demonstrators.
The government refused to respond to our perfectly reasonable demands. Their obstinacy made us angry, so the students' demands gradually became more extreme, such as demanding the resignation of Premier Li Peng.
Wang Dan championed a new tactic to force the government's hand.
The idea of a hunger strike came from books we'd read, especially about India and Mahatma Gandhi.
Do you think that you and other students were really prepared to die?
We didn't give it a moment's thought.
Hundreds of students put on white headbands to show they were refusing food, an audacious move in a country used to famine. Within days, there were 3,000 of them, forcing an official response. Attempting to regain the propaganda initiative, Premier Li Peng dropped by the hospital to meet weakened hunger strikers with cameras from state television.
Your mother must be very anxious about your condition. Issues you raise will be looked into very seriously. We'll think of a way of solving them.
Finally, in a gesture of apparent conciliation, Li Peng agreed to a meeting with the student leaders in the Great Hall of the People. Wang Dan was one of them.
We'd been waiting for ages to meet him. In the whole of China's history, ordinary students had never met a leader of his stature before. I was very polite and addressed him as Premier Li, but Wu Kai-shi was much more direct. I think that really shocked Li Peng.
I forgot to be thrilled meeting the Prime Minister. I forgot to be frightened, especially when he came in and gave us this long lecture.
I wish you to start taking food again, and we'll talk and solve your problems gradually.
So I decided to cut him off.
Wu Kai-shi, who'd been receiving medical treatment after collapsing while on hunger strike, articulated his frustration.
The students have certain requirements which must be met, otherwise they won't leave the square.
You'd gone into that meeting hoping for negotiation. How did you feel at the end of it?
Sad. The purpose of the meeting is really showing the Chinese people that the government have exercised the last resort before they launched the troop. So it wasn't really a dialogue. It was more of for propaganda purpose.
Wu Kai-shi and others believe party leaders had already decided on military action before their meeting. And we now know there was a vicious power struggle within the all-powerful Central Committee, the old guard versus liberal voices sympathetic to the calls for reform. I wanted to know what happened to those who opposed sending in the army. Committee member Bao Tong was one, and he resigned from the party in protest. He was immediately arrested and accused of spreading counter-revolutionary propaganda. Bao Tong served 4 years in prison and has spent long periods under house arrest over the last 18 years. Today, plainclothes police watch him in shifts around the clock.
It looks as if they've got him banged up in his own home.
Under current Chinese law, Bao Tong is allowed to give interviews, but only when it suits the authorities. He's keen to talk to us.
We can't get in to see him. He's got people sitting in his apartment with him, and all around are a very large number of security people, quite aggressive, at least 9 or 10 of them, and he's stuck in his apartment and unable to move.
This sort of behavior has gone on for 20 years. The party resorts to intimidation to assert its power, as it always has. 2 days after the meeting with the student leaders, martial law was declared. The next day, the army was ordered into the city. 1 million Beijingers took to the streets to block the advancing troops. It was a standoff. Several soldiers abandoned their posts. Officers refused to advance any further. After all, this was the People's Liberation Army. The government lost face.
This was clearly no mere exercise, but whatever the objective, it has gone very wrong for the authorities.
As more and more people flooded into the square, tempers flared. Nobody seemed in charge.
A move by the guards to prevent us taking pictures brought a furious response from the crowd. In the square, the mood was also electric. A suspected informer was given rough treatment and hauled off to the police.
But the students were also divided. Should they leave? People who knew the Communist Party of old thought they should.